Hey, what's up everyone? The Dan Sandwich here, and today I'm back in automation in BeamNG Drive, and a couple of videos ago I built this, the DSM Falchion, which was a 1995 supercar to beat the McLaren F1's top speed record at the time. And I was successful. I just barely squeaked by and was able to beat the top speed record of the McLaren F1, but I did beat it. And I thought I would revisit this idea again and move 10 years into the future and aim for the next car in the evolution of production speed records. That is the Bugatti Veyron. So that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be building a car to beat the Bugatti Veyron's top speed of 253.8 miles an hour. So we're going for 254 at the very least. Maybe we can do more than that, but I do have a slight twist on top of that as well. So here we are in the car creator, and I mentioned the twist that I'm going to be using in this is I want to use basically half of the engine size of the Bugatti Veyron. So the Bugatti Veyron famously used an 8-liter quad-turbo W16 engine. So my intention is to use a 4-liter twin-turbo V8 and get the same speed or faster than the Bugatti Veyron. So that's kind of my plan here today. It is still going to be mid-engine. I think I'm going to go rear-wheel drive because, again, we're going for top speed. So I do want it to be a little bit lighter weight, and all-wheel drive does add quite a bit of weight. I would also like it to perform pretty well on the track because, again, the Bugatti Veyron, while great in a straight line, was never really great around the track. It wasn't exactly crushing Nürburgring records. And you know what? I think the body style I'm going to be going for here is going to be this 2008 coupe right here, like this hypercar body style. I think I want to go with the longer wheelbase version of the car, so that should help with handling around the track, possibly. But you know what? I think 113 inches is probably still good enough. Because, if it's too long, it's going to take longer to turn in and stuff like that. And, this car already looks insane. So I think it's going to fit the bill quite nicely. Should have a pretty low drag coefficient, which is what you want when you're setting top speed records. Now, the Bugatti Veyron is carbon fiber everywhere. So carbon fiber panels, we're going with a monocoque, and of course carbon fiber chassis as well. Mid-longitudinal as you would guess. And then we're going to go pushrod front and rear suspension. And because the Bugatti Veyron costs $1 million, we're going to go way up here in terms of quality. Let's go plus 12, because we do want to undercut the Veyron in terms of price, which I think we should still be able to do pretty easily. But, it's still going to be a hyper car, so that's what we're going for here. And like I said, we're going for a 4-liter twin-turbo V8, and we're just going to go all out. We're going magnesium. I'm going to bump up the engine bore and then lower the stroke because I do want it to have high RPM performance as well. See how big we can get this while lowering the stroke to get it to 4 liters. All right, that seems like it's probably going to be pretty good. And, we have plenty of room in the engine bay because this is a pretty big body. But again, we want to go with basically half of the engine of the Veyron. Dual overhead cam. We're going to go 4 valves per cylinder because that is what the Veyron uses as well. And then, we're going to go, magnesium block with aluminum silicone or silicate, I think. I don't know. But the best of the best. We're going with the best of the best. Although, yeah, I mean, this is a little bit lighter weight, so that's probably what we want. Plus 12 quality there as well. And then, let's see. We're going to go with a billet steel crank, because we're not going to use any, flat plane stuff, because, again, it's not going to be, a race car necessarily. But it is going to be really, really fast. And then lightweight titanium con rods, and then, let's see, lightweight forge pistons. Probably going to be good enough. Harmonic dampener on there as well, and we'll mess around with the specifics of that when I actually get in here and fine-tune things. We're going to go VVT and VVL because we're going super high-tech with all this stuff. plus 12 quality there. And of course, I'll get in there and adjust this stuff when I actually fine tune things. And again, twin turbo, smart boost. Let's make a pretty big intercooler because we're probably going to make at least 1,000 horsepower. I don't think that's going to be any trouble with this engine at all. Now, big power and big speed out of a twin turbo V8 is not impossible or even uncommon necessarily. Koenigsegg famously uses twin turbo V8s on most of their really high end, supercars as well. So I don't think it's going to be a problem necessarily to use a twin turbo V8 to get to where we want to go exactly. And we're going to use a high flow 3-way catalytic converter with 2 straight through mufflers there. And so right now, before I even do any tuning, and even only at the 5,600 RPM mark, we're already making 687 horsepower, and we got this like really messy power curve there. So it should be no trouble at all to get this to where we want to go. Again, shooting for at least 1,000 horsepower, but probably, I don't know, we might be able to get up to like 1,200 or maybe 1,400 horsepower without much issue. So yeah, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to mess around with this stuff. And it could take a little while, so I'm not going to show you everything. But once I get this configured, I'll show you what I've done. All right, so I've done a lot of tweaking on the engine, and I got it to 1,374.3 horsepower at 8,300 RPM. The engine is capable of a higher RPM, but the power drop-off just really isn't worth it. So I have a little bit of an overdrive there, or not overdrive, but a little bit of a red line there. But I also was able to kind of manage to get the power curve a little bit more linear. I mean, not so much turbo lag, where it's going to cause problems with wheel spin and things like that. But yeah, I mean, I think it's a pretty good engine for a twin turbo V8. Again, like half the size of a Bugatti Veyron, but like a lot more power as well. Let's hear what this thing sounds like. Man, those turbos are loud. Yeah, that thing sounds pretty crazy. That should be enough power to get us to the 255 mark to beat the Bugatti Veyron. And again, this body style should get us there as well. I'm going to mess around with that stuff here in a little bit, just because it's going to take me a while to build it and all that stuff. Now, we could go all-wheel drive, because that's what the Bugatti Veyron was. I think I want to try to keep it rear-wheel drive, just to see. I'm going to try it like that. Maybe I'll clone the vehicle and do an all-wheel drive version and a rear-wheel drive version and test them both out. But I'm going to keep it rear-wheel drive for the outset. I'm going to go dual clutch. Only a 6-speed dual clutch transmission is available in 2005. Which is kind of a bummer. But it says the estimated top speed right now is 293 miles an hour. So that's definitely faster than the Veyron. We're going to go electric limited slip differential. So we could have a pretty insane car on our hands here. Now, semi-slick tires, that's going to be realistic to what the Veyron uses as well. No carbon fiber wheel option in 2005, but that's okay. We're going to go alloy wheels. That should be good enough. Carbon ceramic discs, however, are available, and we're going to need some pretty big brakes to stop this car with as much power as it has. That should be pretty good. 6-piston discs in the front and rear. We're going to go with a sport under tray because, again, we're not going to make... This is not a race car. This is still going to be a road legal vehicle. So we're not using a race diffuser. We are going to use cooling flaps, though, and then we're going to have active aero once I get a wing on the vehicle. 2-seater, obviously, you can't really add any more seats to this vehicle unless you put a bench seat in the front, which would be weird. And then we're going to go with a luxury interior because that is pretty accurate to what the Bugatti Veyron has as well. It is definitely a luxury car that is built for speed, as well as being really good for, driving as well. We're going to go electric variable steering, and then we're going to have all of the traction aids available to us as possible. And we're going to go with advanced safety as well, because I believe that would be accurate to a vehicle of this, quality as well. And then active sport springs with semi-active dampers. Let's put a sport preset on here as well, and bump up the quality here a bit. So right now it oversteers like crazy, but that's to be expected for something with as much power as it has. Of course, we can mess around with that stuff here in a little bit, but I feel like that's a pretty decent baseline. Let's see, the estimated top speed is even faster now that we've adjusted some things. 331 miles an hour is the estimated top speed. Is just ridiculous, just absolutely ridiculous. I don't even know what to say about that exactly. Yeah, I'm gonna tweak all this stuff, and then I'm going to design the car, and then I will catch up with you after I have done all of that stuff. All right, here we are. I finished the design of this Bugatti beater here. I decided to call it the DSM Python ZX1. ZX1 is just, a bunch of letters and numbers that make it sound fancy and exciting. But yeah, here we are. I really like the design of this. I know I like to toot my own horn, but this is why I do it. To toot my own horn, I guess. But yeah, it's got these kind of like cool, I felt kind of Lamborghini inspired headlights, kind of like off to the side there. These kind of propped up triangles here. You got all these like cool little air vents and things like that to kind of feed air into wherever. I mean, it's a mid-engine car, so it doesn't necessarily need air up there, but whatever, I put it up there as well. I extended out the nose quite a bit because in initial testing, I was getting quite a bit of lift actually at higher speeds. This thing was doing wheelies, to be honest. So I sorted that issue out. I mean, it still lifts up a little bit at high speeds, but not so much where the front wheels are off the ground any longer. I think what helps is I lowered it like all the way down as well. And then you have this kind of triple exhaust back here, which I think is pretty cool. You have this adjustable wing that doesn't, automatically adjust like you'd hope it would, but it's definitely got a good look, I think, for what this is doing as well. A little window on the engine bay as well. And for the first time in a while, I actually did an interior for this car as well, which is, fairly basic. Again, I'm not exactly the best interior designer out there, but I left a lot of carbon fiber exposed because I felt like that kind of matched the vibe of what we're doing here. It's got this kind of like blue Alcantara like body paint matching some aspects of it as well. This is the only gauge cluster that I use because it actually works, but I know it's not quite realistic. But yeah, I don't know. I think it has an interior. This is a fully realized car now. And spoiler alert, it definitely beats the Bugatti Veyron in terms of top speed. And it actually handles fairly nicely on the track. It's a little squirrely, as you'd expect from something with almost 1,400 horsepower, and it weighs less than 3,000 pounds. So quite a bit of power to weight ratio there. But yeah, I mean, it's got a 4-liter twin turbo V8, so half the size of the Bugatti Veyron's engine, and it is more powerful and faster. But yeah, let's take this into BeamNG Drive, and I'll show you just how fast this thing actually is. All right, here we are in BeamNG Drive in the DSM Python, and I just thought I would start out with the thing that I set out to do here, and that is see how fast this thing can go top speed wise if we can beat the 254 mile per hour mark of the Bugatti Veyron. I thought I'd start off with this instead of doing the test track and things like that, because this is the whole point of the video, right? If I can make a car faster than Bugatti Veyron. So let's go. We're in sport mode. Let's start this engine up. It kind of stalls off the line for some reason. I don't know why that is. That happened with a couple of automation cars, but I don't know how to solve it exactly. But here we go. Starting off here, a little bit of a lurch to start, but once it gets going, it really gets going. 0 to 60 in automation was 2.4 seconds, so insane acceleration there. And we are already at 255, just blew past the Bugatti Veyron. And we're going to keep going. We're up to 280 right now. You can see what I was talking about earlier, the front end is lifting off the ground quite a bit, but we're not getting a wheelie like I was in initial testing. And we are nearly at 300 miles an hour. Can we get to 300 miles an hour? I know the wheels are going 300 miles an hour, but I want the airspeed to reach there. And we are at 300 miles an hour, 301. How fast can this thing go? Let's see what we can get up to here. 302. Can we get to 303? This thing's stable. It's not wobbling at all. 303. Here we go. Still going. Still climbing. Do we have a higher top speed even than that? I think 303 is where we're going to be at. 303 miles an hour out of a twin-turbo 4-liter V8. That's insane. I didn't even use any race parts in this. This is all street legal technology, which is insane. 303 miles an hour. So not only did we beat the Bugatti Veyron, but we almost reached the Bugatti Chiron Super Sport top speed of 305. That's insane. That's absolutely insane. This car is ridiculous. Wow. I bet I could do it if because I only went to plus 12 quality. I didn't even go to plus 15 quality. I bet I could get to 305 if I wanted to. Maybe I'll revisit this and do another video of this thing just completely untamed. Or even just see how fast I can get this. I think this body style is the key. It's super slippery through the air, so it really goes fast. There's nothing really slowing it down. But 303, that's insane. So how fast can it go around the automation test track? Is it going to be the fastest car that I've ever tested? Let's find out. All right, here we are in the DSM Python at the automation test track. Let's see what kind of lap I can put down. Is this going to be the fastest car I've ever tested? Let's find out. Driving characteristics, definitely has a little bit of wheel spin. The tail definitely likes to step out a bit. Again, I kept this rear wheel drive because I wanted to save on weight, but it definitely compromises the handling a little bit. And again, I built this for straight line speed, really, so it's maybe not going to be the best around the track either. But that being said, oh man, almost crashed into the wall there. That being said, I think it handles pretty well for something with as much power as it has. Let's see what I can get up to on the straightaway here. 220. I'm gonna slow down so I don't crash. 220 miles an hour. That's insane on that straightaway right there. There's not even that much lead up. This is like definitely one of the craziest cars I've ever built, just in terms of performance. And it handles pretty well. I mean, it's super light, so it definitely isn't gonna have the kind of sluggish handling performance that you would get out of like a Bugatti Veyron, for example. Not that I've ever driven one, but in racing games and things like that, it's always a little sluggish around turns just because that thing is so heavy. And you can hear it. I don't know if you can hear it, but I can hear it. It's scraping the ground a little bit. Again, I had to lower this thing basically as low as I could go because I was getting substantial lifts at the nose at high speeds, and that obviously wasn't going to cut it. But we are already at the last turn here, and we are going to be, I think, well under 2 minutes. Let's see. Final straightaway here, and we're going to put up a 1:57.15. That is the third fastest time that we've done. So that beats the car that I built for the last video I did, the DSM Scythe, which was kind of the opposite of this. Very light. Well, I mean, it's you know, maybe not exactly the opposite because it is also very light, but small engine, but lots of performance because of how light it is. And then I still haven't made any car faster than the first two cars that I ever built in Automation. I don't know what that says about me that I haven't been able to top myself when I didn't know what I was doing. You'd think I would get better, but I also haven't been aiming for the fastest lap time. Maybe I'll do that next time. But yeah, incredible performance around the Automation test track. Let's take this thing to the drag strip and see how fast it can do with a quarter mile. All right, West Coast USA drag strip here. Getting kind of choppy performance right now. Again, I've been having some performance issues ever since the last patch. The Automation test track seem fine, but for whatever reason, this is not working well. So if this seems really choppy, you know why. Well, let's see here. In sport mode once again, foot to the floor, and yeah, this is weird. Anyway, this is really choppy. I don't know why, but here we go. This is not going to be a fast. Oh no, it is. Okay, this is going to be fast. That's the second fastest time that I've done. Didn't seem like that because it seemed like it took way longer than 8 seconds because the game was just in slow motion for whatever reason, which I don't think I did on purpose. But anyway, yeah, only second to the Lego race car that I built originally. So once again, I still can't top that. But again, I also wasn't really trying for it necessarily. But you know, that's insane performance there. Let's go to the car jump arena and see how far this thing can go off that jump. All right, here we are at the car jump arena in the DSM Python. Definitely one of the most insane, maybe the most insane performance car that I've ever built in Automation. Not only did I crush the Bugatti Veyron, I almost beat its bigger, or I guess younger brother in the Chiron. I wasn't even going for that. I wasn't even trying for 303 miles an hour, but that's what I got. So, I mean, I definitely think I will be revisiting this car in the future. I think I'm going to go see just how, if I can even go faster than that, like how fast can I build this car? And then, you know, maybe I'll build a more track-focused version of this thing as well, and see if I can't beat the Lego race car around the Automation test track. But yeah, this car, I think it's super cool. It's obviously very fast, and I'm really pleased with the way it turned out. And of course, if you want to try it out yourself, I will be putting a link to the download on the BeamNG mod site in the description below. Of course, you know, this would be a good time to like the video if you did like this video. And if you want to subscribe and see what other things I come up with in Automation, just, you know, hit the subscribe button. That's how it works. All right, this thing's crazy fast and crazy light, so I feel like it's going to go really far off the car jump arena jump. So let's find out. Let's go. Over the crest here and down the ramp. How fast can I get this thing to go before we get off the jump here? 230 miles an hour off the jump and almost a full backflip. And we are into the sand. Into the sand and then into, oh, not the pool, hits the watchtower and then into the pool. Bits and pieces of the interior flying everywhere. And yeah, there we go. That is the fastest car I've ever built. And definitely faster than I was aiming for. And all with half the engine size of Bugatti Veyron. So there it is. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you had a good time. I know I did. And I will see you in the next video.